What is up, ladies? I was loving the coordination there. Rob was like, uh-oh.
I was going to do a cartwheel, but we ran out of space. So
I'm just saying. It's what we do. We are multi-talented people. I'm just saying, not your typical girl talk and Rob. Yeah. So happy Saturday. This is going to be a show. I mean, we always have a show. I say that every week because every week is a show because the internet always delivers.
Always. It is guaranteed. Always guaranteed.
Every week. We literally could never run out of topics. So thank you, whoever invented the internet, because you make our show as lively as it is. So before all of the introductions, I want to thank Radio Regent and iHeartRadio for syndicating our show, which is every Saturday at 7 p.m. And thank you for those who are listening. If you're watching us live, thank you so much for joining us. Happy Saturday. Make sure you're following us on all of our social media. Not Your Typical Girl Talk, of course, here on Instagram, where we go live 3 p.m. on Saturdays, Facebook group, and on YouTube. And before we get into the show, we're going to introduce ourselves in alphabetical order.
All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Garcia. Welcome to Not Your Typical Girl Talk. I'm so happy to be here. We have such a good time on this show. Again, yes, we talk about all the foolishness on the internet, and we are giving the Black perspective, which is the only perspective you need to know. So thank you so much for joining us today. Telly, what's going on?
Girl, that's the problem. There's too much going on. Yeah. So much is going on that nobody can keep up. Hey, y'all, it's me. It's Telly. I'm here with my crew. And as Shiba was saying, the internet never fails. Just when you think you kind of are beginning to understand humanity, something happens, and then you have to kind of like rewind it back and be like, oh, okay, whoop, didn't see that coming. And on today's show, we're going to spill some. Listen, I got my tea, and I got my water, and I got some Advil on the side because the headache that will happen will probably take me out. So, Shiva, girl, tell me you is clean, because today is the
Not the Advil! Not the Advil!
Advil on standby. Girl.
I'm dead. I am the Shiva. They call me Shiva. I am the final female member of the Not Your Typical Girl Talk crew. Again, we're in for one today, but before we go into it, my partner in crime, my headache, is going to introduce himself.
It's Robert. This weekend we're going by Bob the Builder, because we're going to build this platform out on your foolishness, America. Like, this is just amazing. The gifts just keep giving. It's amazing how you can't even make this stuff up. This one, I'm probably not going to have a lot to say about, because
you're going to have a lot to say. Stop it. You're going to have a lot to say. So we go, okay, we have 3 stories that we're going to talk about today, people. We're going to get through 2 very quickly because these are just 2 idiot women. And then we're going to get to the meat and potato of our show, because our show this week is called #Sidewife. What in the almighty beep? Okay, just marinate on the fact that I said side wife.
I know they're very confused. I can feel the confusion coming through. They're like, "What? How can you be a side wife?"
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
possible
Why
in
won't it?
2021.
2021 has proven to us that anything is possible.
So you can be a sidewife. But before we go into the internet was all ablaze over the last week over two women who got exposed. I'm going to let you guys take the first one because we ain't even going to spend a lot of time on her. But Karen Civil is kind of a self-proclaimed queen of PR, of marketing, industry, so forth and so on. But this week, some things came out about her related to the next lady we're going to talk about, Nicki Minaj, and some of the fraudulent things that she's been doing, especially something that she did to Jason Lee of Hollywood Unlocked. And if you don't know Jason Lee, he is the owner, the founder of Hollywood Unlocked. He was also on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Listen, I know all the Love and Hip Hop franchises, just say. Guilty pleasure.
Girl,
So ladies, for those who don't know Karen Civil, you ladies can fill the people in on who Karen Civil is, and then I'll drop the bomb on what she did that made her all the blaze this week.
Me too.
Okay. So yes, Karen Civil is known as a digital marketing genius, specifically in the music industry, specifically in the hip hop industry. And she basically came to fame by she won a contest where she made a really cool
Backstreet Boys
scrapbook and created a little community from that. And she had won a prize for doing this, and she leveraged that and basically became a marketing guru, as you know, as she proclaims. She has worked with people like Lil Wayne, connection to Nicki Minaj, Nipsey Hussle, Mac Miller, like the hip hop industry as a whole loves Karen Civil. She's been to every event that every hip hop star should be at, and she's just well known within the Black community, the space. We had the pleasure of meeting her. We met her at an event, and overall seemed like, you know, normal, you know, very normal girl, nice, very, you know, pleasant. However, something happened this week, and man, I just gotta say, well,
what's done in the dark will always come to light. That is the theme of that. And I'm not even going to spend that much time on her. So basically what happened is Karen, it first started out with a lady named Jessica Wu, and Jessica Wu had put out, basically, she was suing Karen. Don't know all the details behind it, but she put out something that she was suing Karen Civil. They were doing a back and forth. Karen Civil happened to go into Clubhouse. Now, Clubhouse is a digital space where people can do voice interviews and so forth on Apple. So in the midst of this interview, people were calling into the interview to say their experience with Karen and what a fraud she was. Like, huge fraud. So people are coming to their story. Meek Mill is also tweeting about what a fraud Karen Civil was and how people were on him when he had come out and said Karen Civil was a fraud. Long story short, because we're going to move on past her, it came out that she had hired a hacker to hack into Hollywood Unlocked. So Jason Lee called in, and instead of PRing herself, because you're a PR maven, and getting herself out of that, because if someone comes on live and says that I had hacked them, I would say, that's interesting. That's an interesting accusation. Happy to discuss this with you, with my lawyer. You can send your paperwork to my legal team, because I will never admit that I have hacked someone, because hacking is illegal. No, Miss PR Maven says, oh yeah, that guy, yeah, he's a hacker. I didn't promise him blah, 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 but yeah, so she admits on this global platform to the person she had hacked that she hacked them. And this was all stemming from something to do with Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma. So, boo, you're bad at your job. I'm sorry.
No, girl, it's true. And it's kind of funny too. It also proves that there's so much capping in that industry.
The music
Everyone
industry
is playing a part. Everyone's pretending to be something bigger than what they really are. Because like you were saying, she's supposed to be a media maven. So you think that she would PR her own self and not say a word, especially on a public space.
Clubhouse is one of the fastest growing apps right now.
Like, you can't unsay what you said.
Right, it's recorded, it's everywhere.
Everyone heard you. So,
and to hear the stories, stories of I gave her $60,000 when I was expecting a baby and literally gave her my savings to save my music career.
And she did nothing.
And being scammed, you're like, oh, girl.
Clutch my pearls.
And you're covered head to toe in Louis Vuitton.
Covered.
Like every week. You have to start saying, wait a minute, but then again, she has definitely done a good job at putting herself out there as if she's not on your team, you're not going nowhere in your music career, apparently. But it looks like she has just been getting away, allegedly, with a lot of scamming.
A lot.
And it's behind the guise of, when Black women are successful, people are always coming for them.
Yeah.
Because that's how they had made it with Meek Mill. Oh, Meek is just coming for her. Like here's another Black man coming off of a successful Black woman. Right. And a lot of people are getting away with that narrative because of this whole protect Black women thing. And people are doing further digging to go, maybe there's some truth to what's being said. So anyways, Karen Silver, we wish you the best, because Jason Lee's also going to be suing you on top of everybody else who's coming for your neck. People, stop believing people when they're capping on the internet. Don't think that because somebody's in a Bentley, a BMW, and so forth, that it's theirs. People out here are lying to you. And again, what's done in the dark will always come to light. Speaking of what's done in the dark, because we're done with her. Blue Child. So while Nicki Minaj was talking about her cousin's friend's swollen balls, her husband's rape victim was getting ready to come out and show the world who she is and tell the world what Nicki Minaj and her husband Kenneth have been doing. So you remember when we said, the four of us, three of us, all of us, said that Nicki Minaj's tweet was a smokescreen for something bigger?
Yup.
I'm just saying we said it.
We said that.
We said it was a smokescreen for something bigger. First. Well, it's because the daytime show had reached out to her to let her know that Jennifer, who's the first name of the rape victim, was going to be coming on the show, and if she had any comments. Apparently she did not, but Jennifer and her lawyer have come online, and Jennifer had a lot to say. So we are going to play a 3-part, and it's just about 3 minutes in total, clip of what the rape victim of Kenneth had to say on the reel.
Here we go. Turn up my volume.
Welcome back. Our next guest is speaking out for the first time on camera regarding a lawsuit she filed against Nicki Minaj and her husband, Kenneth Petty. A lawsuit accusing them of harassment and intimidation, among other charges. We believe that all women's voices have the right to be heard, which is why we invited her to come here today. Please welcome Jennifer Huff and her lawyer, Tyrone Blackburn. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Jennifer and Tyrone. Jennifer, I know this is not an easy thing for you to do, so we're going to take our time. After being silent for so long, why are you here speaking up today?
I'm tired of being afraid. I feel like the actions that were taken in regards to this whole situation have put me in a different type of fear at my age now, and it was wrong, and I don't want to be afraid anymore. So the only way
We're just waiting, going to play the second part.
Jennifer, have you ever spoken to Nikki directly?
I did in March of 2020. She called me and she said that she got word that I was willing to help them out in a situation. I didn't understand what she was referring to. She offered to fly me and my family to LA. I turned it down, and I told her, woman to woman, this really happened. And I hadn't spoken to her since.
Now, you allege that Nikki and Kenneth were harassing you. In what way?
With them sending people to negotiate numbers as far as money is concerned with family members. And Nikki is the one who personally reached out to me. She's, in regards to helping them in this situation. And then the
Third part.
What are you guys wanting to come from this lawsuit?
to let them know that they were wrong. And you can't do this to people. You shouldn't do this to people. He did something a long time ago, and he had consequences that he was supposed to stick with. What they did to me and my family wasn't okay. It wasn't right, and it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what your status is. You can't intimidate people to make things go better for you, and that's what they did. And I want my daughters to know that as they grow, as they experience life, as they come in contact with friends, family, strangers, or whatever, that they'll have the strength to know that they have a voice and they should use it. And don't ever let anybody try to silence them.
Now, for more of that interview, you can find it on The Real Daytime. And I would suggest if people are interested in learning more, they learn more. There was more to that I listened to. We didn't play it, but it was alleged by Jennifer that someone came to her from their circle and offered her and gave her $20,000, basically put it in front of her. She did not accept it. And then later on, that same person tweeted, "You should have took the money," with guns on the table, directed towards her. So I'm going to say that part. Go watch the rest of the interview with her on The Real Daytime. But comments? Yes, Robert.
Go ahead.
Bob the Builder. Sorry, Bob the Builder.
This is just where I don't understand people sometimes, especially celebrities. Like, you rap Nikki like money's no object. But if you really wanted the problem to go away, you do the punk ass 20,000. Like, that ain't even gonna pay that lady bills for 2-3 months. Like, if you really wanted to, like,
have it disappear,
have it go away, like, throw $5 million on the table or something like that, and then that, like, make it hard, make it throw her offer that she legit, like, oh, I mean, yeah. Like, I might not recant nothing, but I ain't about to speak on it no more. Like, I will go along about my business. Y'all can go live wherever y'all want to. See, y'all understand what this is really about is when she got with old boy, I don't think she really thought out, like a lot of women, thought about the implications of what your life was going to be with this man because he had this condition going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know the conditions about the trial and what he was pled or whatever that was. But, if you plead, whether you did it or not, you got to live with the consequences of that. And a part of that was you were a sex offender for the rest of your life. So when they are house shopping, that little piece of information to the realtor changes their option a lot, like a whole lot. Like Calabasas isn't as inviting if you got a sex offender living with you. Like, that's why he didn't want to register, and like, so what I will say is take all of that away. He says, she says situation. Nothing says I'm chilling calm like I'm chilling calm. So their behavior leads me to believe they probably did what was accused and it's sort of because y'all still operating in that same type of space and that same type of energy as opposed because again he was convicted of taking something and sounds like him and Nikki were trying to take something again and again, when you operate like that, you gotta really operate like that. No, you can't buy people off with $20,000. Maybe that's the moral to the story. Is if you're gonna try to buy somebody off, really try to buy them off, and maybe it'll work, and you won't have to resort to threats of violence.
Can I say something, ladies, before? Because you mentioned Calabasas. Nikki has the money and the resource to live anywhere in this wonderful nation, anywhere on this earth. I agree with Rob. When you decided to marry a man that you've known, this isn't a man that Nikki met and they fell in love and got married. She knows this man from the hood. She's known him like she knew Safari for a very long time. So she was well aware of his past. And you fall in love with who you fall in love with. Nikki has made more than enough money for her and her children's and probably their children's lifetime. You are now with a man who is a sex offender. Whether you like it or not, that is what he is according to the law. It may be time, baby girl, to pack up and leave the okay, I don't know what conditions he has, but maybe leave the United States of America. Maybe go somewhere else. Go and live a very calm, wonderful, married life. Be like Shine. Shine was recording stuff from jail. I'm sure you can send your little verse to Drake from Trinidad or Jamaica or St. Kitts or a private island you can go and buy where you and your husband and your children can live. But to go out and harass his rape victim is low. And her behavior in the past week, harassing the reporter in Trinidad, now goes to show a pattern of harassment of women when you don't like what they have to say. Like,
it makes me think about that Met Gala situation differently too. Like maybe it was the same lines of like, well, Nikki, you're invited, but and again, Safari, meet me, like she likes that Bonnie and Clyde type of energy. Like she want her man to be with her, come in the door with her, be representing her, be with her.
Very true.
It's tough when he's got that stigma attached to him. Them Hollywood meetings don't go the same way because they're like, no, Nikki, yeah, come. And then,
don't blame him.
But your boy, nah. Because, it's going to be, some of my friends ain't going to feel comfortable with him there. You know what I'm saying? Like, because again, society looks at that situation, and when you have to carry that stigma with you, not very favorably. And again, like, cry me a river, like, bro, I'm sorry. It's not hard to not be a sex offender.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, I fully agree with what's being said here. I think that, Nikki has always been seen as a female empowerment sort of figure. That's how she came on the scene. Barbie, she is the strong woman. She doesn't care about what nobody got to say. Everybody wants to be Nikki. She's a mogul to even the LGBTQ+, the Black community, the woman community. She is one of those people that is put up there. I do think that her marrying a sex offender has kind of, okay, she's not
Susie,
even wanted in Trinidad.
Susie, Nicole, no, you don't want
to. Nikki, that's off your list. But
Nikki can't go back to Trinidad. That's it.
I think that what Nicki Minaj has done, and I don't want to say, this is my personal opinion, but girl, you've worked really hard for this Nicki Minaj thing to fly. She's tried to be an actress. She went to school. She spent a lot of money and a lot of time on getting to this point in her career. And she's decided to not only marry this man, but take on the business of trying to shake down his rape victim, and then you want to talk about why you didn't go to the Met Gala? Sis, were you really invited to the Met Gala? Probably not, because they were like, we cannot have this story walking down the red carpet where we have a bunch of people that are here still talking about the Me Too movement, the violence towards Black women. This is why R. Kelly, this whole thing where Black women are being, treated violently. This is an actual movement, and people do not want to be supporting people that seem to be in line with men that are doing this. So I think it is affecting Nicki's career. I think, girl, I know that I can't get in the way of love. You love this man, okay, but understand the consequences and understand that, yes, you need to, when Michael Jackson was having issues, he packed up his children and he went and lived in a castle in in Croatia or someplace like that for years before he came back to Canada or to the US. Why? Because his career had some tarnish and he needed people to forget about him and forget about the allegations. Nicki needs to go do the same.
But that's the thing with Nicki, though. She's addicted to the fame. So I don't see her getting on, taking her family and flying off to God knows where.
Because she said she was retiring.
She said she was retiring.
She's like, I'm not going to put out any more music. And then what did she do the next week?
She put out more music. She has her own podcast. She's doing all these different things. I think she even still has her deal with MAC Cosmetics. I'm not really sure. But she has a lot of things going on for her. We were talking about this even on our call with each other, saying, when you're with someone, when you marry them, when you start dating them, you're taking on their baggage, no matter what it is.
Yep.
Now, Nicki knew very well the issues that were in her man's life. She knew about this. Exactly.
Yeah, it wasn't a secret.
It wasn't no secret. Just like Brittany Renner, everyone knew what kind of woman Brittany Renner was. Everyone knew, Nicki Minaj knew what kind of man she was getting involved with. Mm-hmm. She knew. And she didn't care. She let love win, and she married this man. And now she's trying to clean up his mess.
And to me, sorry, even for me, $20,000 ain't nothing.
And yeah, $20,000.
I wouldn't even want to take a meeting unless they want to talk about $10 million.
That didn't even cover my student loan.
Because $10 million is enough money for my life to change.
Life-changing money. That's what I always said. If you want to come at me with some life-changing money. And now, we're not saying that the lady Jennifer should have taken the money. But we're saying it would have sweetened the pot a little bit more, as Rob said earlier, if they came with some big bucks. $20,000, I've seen $20,000 on a table.
I'd be so disappointed with Jennifer if she took that $20,000. Like, girl, what is wrong with you?
So I don't know if that was supposed to be a down payment. They can hear more of the story.
I hope it was.
But that would have been the down payment.
1% down?
I don't know what she put the down payment for, but it wasn't silent.
She's got Drizzy money.
She's got
Lil Wayne money. This woman has money. She could afford to buy this woman an island and more.
She could have given that woman $100 million, and
she comes there with 20 grand. What the hell are you gonna do with that?
Barely buy a decent SUV,
girl.
It's a whole mess. So again, people out here are capping. For those who were rallying for Nicki Minaj and her freedom of speech and her whatever, please use critical thinking. Like the ladies have said, and Rob, she probably wasn't invited to the Met Gala because with the Met Gala comes her husband with her. Like, I don't necessarily listen. I believe in redemption. Let me be very clear. I believe in redemption. Mm-hmm. I do not think her husband is necessarily, I'm going to use the word necessarily, the same man he was in 1994 when this happened. However, what him and Nicki's actions have shown, and the funny thing is, I think Nicki was behind this. Kenneth has there's no upside to him to be the one saying, yo, Nicki, let's go pay her off. There is an upside to Nicki because of her career.
Yep.
So it is very clear that Nicki was saying in his ear, we got to make this right. I love you, but, my careers might be
pissed off because it just brought more attention to the situation.
Thank you.
Precisely. That's it.
Also, I don't know. They seem to got a weird kind of chemistry because I also remember, towards the beginning of them getting together, some world star video, like he was trying to run up on Meek about her and stuff like that. Like they got some weird chemistry going on, you know what I mean? Obviously. Yeah. And
yeah, they're different.
yeah, like the best bet would have been like y'all
take a break.
That happened in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Nikki, your career is not so hot right now.
Cardi B's on top.
Can't withstand a little break. And
let Cardi have her moment.
Let Cardi have her
and you can do a few collabs.
Step away. I don't think she got that Mariah Carey energy. Like, they're gonna have to drag her off stage. Like, she's not going away quiet.
Well, she got to go away somehow because this situation is not going away. Now the woman has come out. It was one thing when there was no. Listen, when you are Jane Doe or Miss X or something, now the woman has a name. Jennifer Hacker. Yep. We now know her name.
They're gonna give her a platform. She gonna
Thank you.
Interviewing survivors who have been, you know, like.
So if Karen Civil was Nicki Minaj's PR person, she failed her. So it's just a feeling all around for both of them.
They better just fail.
Fail. Take a moment. Take a break. Take a break. Go away. We believe in love. Love is great, but it's time for a break. Speaking of break. Come on, girl.
So, just going to reset the room quickly. Thank you all for joining us on Not Your Typical Girl Talk. Today, we have been talking about Karen Civil, Nicki Minaj, and the foolishness that is currently going on in their lives, to which people are trying to sue them now. Just be grateful today. Be grateful to God, because you're probably not being sued for millions of dollars. So take a moment, praise Jesus, praise your divine source. Whenever you worship,
glory,
just praise them. And this show, we talk about all the foolishness on the internet, and it's coming from a Black perspective, from us, the Not Your Typical Girl Talk crew. So we're moving on to the next topic. Here we go.
Oh, girl, I got my Advil for this. This is why I got Advil. For the next
I actually have to close my eyes for this one. I just want to tell me while I take a moment to breathe. Can you just read the comments there that people are saying before I go into this next foolishness?
I will. Well, we know. Thank you, Susie. Yes. So Nikki is no longer. She can't go back to Trinidad. She's not wanted in Trinidad. Susie also said, "Yep, all their ages of baggage. Girl, people are coming with some serious baggage." I want to say her name wrong. I'm so sorry, my love. Dahlia Janet. Maybe that's all the cash she had.
Maybe.
Maybe she Maybe that's all the cash she had. That's kind of maybe you're right. And Susie also said, "Praise God." Yes, praise God. None of us are getting sued.
Listen, Susie, we're gonna need this praise God for this next woman. Susie, hold on to your praise God.
Yes,
because this one. How much time we got? Let me get through this, because I want to get to this. So again, they're on the internet. Okay.
I don't even believe this story.
Rob doesn't believe it, but it's all over. I believe it is true. Now, this comes all the way from Nigeria, because we did some digging, because me and the girls, we dig until we find, and this story comes from Nigeria, and this is
Nigeria.
This one is doozy.
And this is the reason our show today is called #SideWife. And it goes.
Girl.
My husband is mourning his dead mistress. 3 months ago, the woman who was having an affair with my husband died suddenly from an accident. I found out about the affair only 2 days after her funeral. I thought she was simply a co-worker, and I was wondering why my husband was so disturbed and emotional. He quit his job, saying it was too traumatic to go to work. She was in the early weeks of pregnancy when she died, and my husband doesn't know whether he or her husband was the father. So on top of everything, he's also grieving for a baby which may or may not have been his. I find it extremely difficult to be emotionally supportive when he wakes up at 3 a.m. crying and trembling. Yet I don't have the heart to yell at him like I want to. He says she's dead, So there's no reason for me to feel jealous or threatened, and asks for my understanding as he grieves. We've barely talked these last weeks because I don't know how to respond to my husband when he cries and says he misses her and wishes she were here. Then also how much he loves me and that he never intended to leave me. I asked him to visit a marriage therapist together, and he said he's not ready to work on our marriage and thinks he needs to see a grief therapist instead. Do I need to give him the time to mourn the loss of his marriage? Or should I demand, do I need to give him the time to mourn the loss of his mistress? Or should I demand he focus on our marriage?
There's so much wrong.
There's a lot wrong with that whole thing.
And the fact that there's even questions make me kind of reevaluate the situation a little bit to be like, I don't know, because one thing I understand that I've been encountered in life a few times, is like, I've been around someone in a situation happened to them, and it's like, you clutch your pearls, like, oh my God, like, why aren't you reacting different? Like, why aren't you, like, flipping tables over and kicking shit and, like, turning into the Hulk, basically? Because I think that's that kind of situation. As a dude, I'm kind of like, this guy is something else, you know? But I think speaks volumes that she actually has found a little bit of zen in this circumstance. Like, I don't know if that's good or bad, but she's definitely a special person. Special.
Let me just tell you something. I'm not that special.
I don't.
Just in case, I'm not that special. You would not have survived to be getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, sleeping beside me while you're trembling, talking about you miss your mistress.
No.
I'm not that special, babe. Just in case you
I would
No.
no.
No, y'all. No. No.
And I just want to say too, remember everyone, this is 3 months after the funeral. So he's had the time. And I what I've done since we heard about this story and we've been talking about it amongst each other, I've talked to a lot of my married girlfriends from all different backgrounds and you know, different places in life, including our own mother. And I didn't meet anyone who said, maybe I should give him time to mourn. Every single one of them was like, oh, I'll give him time. But I'm going to put his stuff outside by the curb and he can go find a hotel to go mourn. But he ain't doing it in my house.
He can mourn while I call the divorce lawyer.
Thank you.
And I take the house.
Thank you.
And the car.
Thank you.
Because that he can mourn then. I'm not staying. Clearly, he wishes that his wife died instead of the mistress.
Right.
Clearly.
That's the part.
He wanted his wife to die because he's there 3 months. You quit your job? You're lying in bed.
You don't even care about how you provide your
3
family
months
no more.
after.
And there was a big unborn baby involved, and then the mistress was also married. You know, maybe her husband caused that accident. This plot is thickening, y'all. It's thickening. There's a lot to unpack here, but she needs to save herself. I remember even when we were on our call, we were saying this woman is clearly severely damaged.
Yeah,
to think that she's asking the public, should I stay or should I give him time? Why are you even asking? We shouldn't even know this.
You gave him 3 months.
You gave him 3 months of your what?
That's a quarter. That in the business world, that is a quarter of your financials. 3 months is a quarter. This is 1 quarter that has passed of your financials that this woman has given this man to grieve a debt. A quarter. So if you're an entrepreneur, you understand. A quarter of your financials.
Yeah, man.
Is the amount of time this woman has been making this man grieve.
Right.
But this guy's boldness is like, when you guys said Nigerian, I was like, okay, because there's certain classes and cultures where dudes move with such boldness that is just breathtaking sometimes. And that's what this really, like, he's legitimately expecting her to be there for him. Like, he's legitimately expecting her to understand why he feels the way he is. He says, I wasn't going to leave you. But it also sounds like he would rather it have been her, definitely. Like, I don't see.
Exactly.
He said, I'm not ready to work on
When I'm
my
married, I need a
marriage,
grief counselor.
And the other thing that the first thing I grabbed onto is I didn't find out until 2 days after the funeral. So that man took you to his mistress' funeral
And was
and
weeping.
had you there looking like an idiot. Because I guarantee
Because you know the
that
coworkers.
at least amongst the coworkers, there's coworkers that knew that they were getting it in.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? So the coworkers knew. So they were sitting there like, wow, Rob really bought Sheba to Karen's wedding.
To funeral.
I mean, excuse me, wedding, funeral. He really
While
bought.
I'm comforting him.
Yes. The sign is always the last.
We stand next to each other. We accuse face each other. Like,
always
wow.
the last to know.
So
and
like,
oh god.
You know what, too? I want to talk about the man's actions for a minute, too. And
respect.
Rob, please weigh in. But this is from my experience, from what I've seen of men when they have been, you know, going out on the street on their wife and on all of this stuff. And when anything happens in that side relationship, he will take it all in. He'll go to the bar. He'll probably sit at the bar for 8 hours and drink his miseries away. And then maybe he might crash at a friend's house. Maybe he might go away for a weekend with the boys. But then he's going to come home and you're not even going to know what your husband was miserable about. And he's just going to be like, I'm just going to let, you know, my mistress is dead. She's gone. It's over. That baby could have been mine, but the baby's dead. We're never going to know anyway. I'm here with my woman. I'm just going to keep on going through my life. That's how I know most men to behave. It is very strange to see this man 3 months after
still mourning. 3 a.m. trembling in the night?
Let me tell you, like, this man is behaving like he just lost his soulmate. Like they were.
Right. Exactly.
No, what he was saying is he didn't even know if the baby was his, but he wanted it.
But he wanted it.
He wanted it. We've been speaking for like 2-3 weeks on how niggas don't even want to claim their own babies sometimes because of circumstances that they're born under. This man is saying, she's married. I don't even care if it's his or mine. I still want you. All right? Like he's saying a lot about the nature of the relationship with her by his behavior, by how he's acting. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The average cheating man who wanted to keep his existing wife and his existing family would have probably, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to be real, would have probably looked at that like a get out of jail free card. Your pregnant mistress died in an accident, bro. Like you couldn't, like, I'm like, damn, I wish I would have had life insurance. Like, that sounds jacked up, but
it's true.
That's a get out of jail free card. That is like no,
it's like a miracle.
I don't even got to deal with that situation now.
That's a blessing
You know
in
what I'm
disguise.
saying? This man is hurt.
Paining, trembling,
Hurt.
trembling at night.
He lost someone very valuable to him. And he's in his house because this woman is a doormat and he got zero respect for her. He might love her. He might still have some type of obligation or responsibility to her, feel like he owe her or whatever. But it's all kinds of jacked up because he's sitting there like, you know what I mean? Like, don't.
I'm dealing. You go figure out.
You don't know how I feel.
And here's the thing.
But look at how she's got, so she can't even deal with her own
That's what,
feelings.
Thank you. That's what I was about to say.
Exactly.
That's it.
He ain't even giving her the space to be like, damn, what I did to you was effed up.
That's it.
This woman doesn't get a chance to mourn her marriage. Because here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie to the people. I'm not saying that if Rob cheated on me, I would automatically leave. I would be capping if I said that. Okay? I cannot say, oh my God, yes, I do not want him to cheat on me. Yes, it would hurt me. but I'm not going to lie and say I'm going to leave him. However, his actions after me finding out about him cheating is likely the reason I would leave.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Because this man's actions is saying, I don't respect you as a woman who's given her life to me. I wasn't going to leave you, but ... I wish you were the one that was there. That is what that said.
He doesn't want to go to marriage counseling. That is the big test. You are coming in the house, you've admitted to all of these things, and it's like the wife asks you one thing. Can we even go to one session and see if this will help us? And you say, no, you want to go to a grief counselor?
Yes, girl, because he is tormented.
Hold on. That part, Rob just said it. He's still choosing the other woman and she's dead.
Yep.
How do you compete with a dead woman?
You can't.
You can't.
They're immortalized. You can't compete with a dead person.
And that's the thing. When someone is dead, you do put them on
a pedestal.
You know, when Princess Diana died, she was here and now she's here. No one can say anything negative about Princess Diana unless you want to get like cussed out. So he is definitely in that place now where he is like, this woman was my everything.
Literally his
and
everything.
He turns around and he sees his wife who's standing there like,
what the hell's going on?
I should support him.
No, what she should do is get her divorce lawyer.
To be honest with you, my opinion is she should start looking into getting a divorce, telling her story to a judge, because when the judge hears this story,
whatever she wants.
Whatever she wants, because he quit the job.
But she should probably make him experience waking up at 3 a.m. shaking and trembling in the car.
That part. Exactly.
In the car.
In the car.
In the winter.
I bet you think about it differently. Real quick.
You get to sleep. You get to cheat on me. Take me to your mistress's funeral.
Yep.
Tell me your mistress was your mistress and she was carrying your maybe baby. And then ask me to support you. Still want to sleep in the bed with me and expect me to comfort you when you wake up at 3 a.m. trembling.
And pick up the slack because I quit my job.
Because you quit your job.
Girl.
So now I need you to pick up some of the slack around here financially too.
He has to provide for him and mother him.
And we have a comment here that I really want to read. Susie Nicole says, imagine putting emphasis on his feelings as you neglect yours.
Right, you're hurt. You're all kinds of jammed up.
You're on fire today, child.
The greatest way to show self-love here, sis, is to leave.
Ta-ta.
Because he's gonna sit there. If you don't mind, Sharp, he's gonna start building an altar to this mistress.
He probably already started right now.
Last thing you got, every shred of dignity or self-worth or whatever you got, he won't stop taking from you.
You know what? And sometimes I remember words that Rob says on the show and just to me. And again, won't lie that I'm going to leave them. But in a relationship, because I believe in the sanctity of marriage, I believe that if you can make a marriage work, you do. However, her partner doesn't find her valuable at all. No. And I remember that was something that Rob said to me, and actually was to Dahlia Joanne, she's on, when he said, you know what? The important part of my relationship is with Toshiba is I find her invaluable. Yes, I could go on without her, but my life is better with her. I can have a perfectly fine life without her, but I know I'll have a better one with her.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And if you're in a space where your partner finds, let me tell you, if Rob is going to cheat on me, and again, I don't condone it, he doesn't have to, because he's got a lifetime pass, okay? So he doesn't actually have to cheat on me, but if he does, I guarantee he'll admit to you today, he's doing that in secret. He will do it in the biggest secret ever. He might get a new phone. He goes to like it is secret because I have the password to his current phone. So he's just gonna have a whole I'm a detective and I found out things I probably shouldn't. But I think he's going to know, losing to Sheba because I want to go up there and sling my thing all around is going to cost me. And so I'm gonna do this in private. Like, go cry at your friend's house. Go cry in the park. Cry before you walk into the house. Wipe the tears. But you do not come and burden the person who you think is valuable or invaluable, more important, invaluable in your life, and expect them to put their feelings aside for yours for 3 months.
Yo, my nigga, or don't tell them if you really that broke up. Okay, this is the sinister mind talking for a minute. If you really that broke up, then like, yo, your day one, your sandbox, my man from 3rd grade got killed and is effing me up. Not my girlfriend. He make dudes like that make it worse for everyone. Like I don't condone his behavior in the least, because it's like, because that woman is now going to go out into the world and be available. You feel what I'm saying? And some poor guy is going to come along and be interested in her and have to help her unpack this shit.
Baggage that she now has from that man.
For that dude.
Yes, because
like this nigga, like, bro, come on, man.
Because you know what?
Like, even if that's how you feel, like, I just cannot believe he had the audacity to take her to the funeral.
It's wickedness, as Jamaicans would say. That is it is wickedness. And to me, I feel bad for this woman because exactly now the baggage that she has upon her now, her emotional, this is going to be an emotional like roller coaster for her. She is never going to trust again unless she sits down with a professional and gets some help.
It's sad too, because we were talking about, being valuable, Sheba. He didn't value the hoe. I shouldn't call her hoe. He didn't value his side wife, because if he did, he would have then left his current wife, and just go be with the mistress.
But
wife.
she was also married.
So that means that he wasn't valuable to her either, because she was still married to her current husband. No one valued anybody.
Baby, in a secret family, in a secret relationship.
This is okay. She wasn't the poor woman was in a poly, and she didn't even know it.
And what makes it
and this is me,
and this is my persona. I'm a Leo, so for anyone who's a Leo, I'm representing for you right now. The way how Leos are, we do not like to be embarrassed by our loved ones.
I don't think anyone wants to be embarrassed.
But Leos will literally dump you just because of that. Even if you didn't do anything per se to break their heart, you just have to embarrass them. So the idea that you took me to your mistress's wedding and funeral, and we sat down and you were there bawling. The co-workers are sitting there and they're all looking at me like, she don't know one damn thing. Look at that. She don't know nothing. Remember when Charles and Sue were at the Christmas party last year, and we all know what they were doing.
Kiss up and
or whatever.
All over each other.
And she's sitting there. You know how embarrassing that is?
She had no.
Yes, baby.
No, I'm just saying. But seriously, God helped this woman out by taking this woman out of the equation, because she was about to be on the episode of Snap.
She was going to be on the episode of Snap. That man did not want that woman around. He would have. He said, "I'm not going to leave you." He didn't say, "I'm not going to get rid of you." Two different things. I ain't going to leave you.
Episode of Snap. I ain't
going to leave you.
The way he was handling
the
situation and the way that this man's behavior towards this
callous.
It was like, yeah, somebody was going to get hurt. So God just removed somebody. Because again, and then, like I said, she got a whole husband on the other side of this equation. She was getting ready to come home with a baby. Like,
here you go, honey. This is our new addition to the family.
And it's really a coin flip. Man, you can't make this shit up.
And you know what? I'm gonna piggyback a little bit on what
somebody's gonna get killed in this situation. God cleaned this up a little bit. Like
and Garcia said something I'm gonna piggyback on a bit about embarrassment. And again, I'm not gonna cap about my relationship and the stuff that Rob and I talk about. I've said to Rob, let me tell you something. The one, other than number one rule in our relationship is no disrespect. Number two is don't embarrass me on these streets. if for any reason you've done anything, and that anything is walking towards us in public, you better take the time it takes for her to get from where she is to where I am and whisper something real quick in my ears.
You better say it.
Because by the time she gets there, I'm going to be able to say, oh, when she tries to introduce herself, so you're Laura. Rob has told me all about you. She ain't got nothing more to say to me because now I know.
Nothing more.
That's it.
Now I know. I can deal with him later once we are, because I'm going to smile all through that whole situation. I'm going to smile when we're in the car. I'm going to smile when we drive off. But guarantee when we get home, I'm going to have something to say. But I do not embarrass me on the street. And this woman was embarrassed. And now she has to deal with him mourning. Oh, I cut his Achilles tendon in his sleep and watched him bleed to death. Like,
why
don't get
does
this.
she have to lose his sleep?
You can cry. Just cry outside of my house.
In the car.
In the car.
That's
No, you know what? He's not even worth him in the car. He can sit on the bloody grass, as far as I'm concerned. Just get off my property. Cry wherever you want, just not in my car, not in my house.
I will do
Go about your day.
my best not to light the stuff on fire like Angela Bassett.
It would be hard not to.
I will actually leave the stuff intact so you can put it in your car and you can drive somewhere, go to your mama's, go to your best friend.
I don't care where you want to go.
Go to a hotel.
I don't care where you want to go.
Go to the park.
Just make sure that I get the house and the car.
The hat with the veil on it at the funeral, and she was there with her Sunday finest on, like her best
husband's
attire. Like,
mistress.
no, come on. He made her the public fool. Like, she was definitely the fool at that event, whether she knew it or not. Because anybody that knew what was going on wasn't even really focused on the dead lady.
Completely embarrassing.
I guarantee you, because I know if I was there, if this happened at my workplace, I would be like, where's the popcorn? Like,
Yes.
No.
Yes, I would. Because I have been in office relationships and I did sit there.
I have seen some office relationships, and yes, Rob, it's true. The popcorn comes out, and I'm like, huh, front row seat.
hey.
It's about to go down.
Woo, VIP. I gotta see how this.
I'm sitting here and I'm actually seething thinking about this in my own mind. I am seething.
Somebody else went through that face. I think you to the funeral. Oh my God, Melissa. She was so good. She was so good. She was so efficient. You know what I'm saying?
Halfway over the
So productive.
Coffin. You're kind of like, what is wrong with him? And everybody's looking at you.
Even her husband is like, dude, what are you doing on my wife's coffin?
Right?
Because I'm sure her husband was going on the way he was going.
My blood is boiling.
I wonder if he approached her husband.
It's a whole mess.
Did you go over to him like, I'm so sorry for your loss? Like,
it is a mess.
Did he say I lost? Like, I'm sorry for our loss.
You know what? God help everybody. We got 2 minutes. We got, because I'm literally, my blood is boiling. Because I am just thinking how many pieces I would cut Rob up and how many thousands of miles I would travel throwing pieces of his body into rivers.
Girl, for real.
Like, this sort of thing that happens in your life where you literally have to start looking at how far you can move from your area. Can I move to a different state? Can I move to a different country? Woo. Because this is a lot.
Forever.
A lot. This is a lot. I would be like, I need to get away from here, because depending on how big this company is that your husband works at, you know, about 500 people could know, and the story gets passed down.
He's currently unemployed.
Right.
So
listen,
the grievance in his heart.
I feel the point, but I'm just ooh-wee. Like,
and he wants the wife to pay for the grief counselor.
Because he ain't got no job.
Divorce.
No benefits.
Divorce.
No.
I just don't love you that much, babe.
That's a speedy subject.
I just don't.
That's an express divorce.
I don't love you.
Instant separates. Like, I think that's when they made the term irreconcilable differences. I think that's what they had in mind.
Yeah.
This nigga is upset because his mistress is dead. I don't think we got
dead.
Yeah.
And we're going to wrap this up. My blood is continuing to flow. And we are at the top of the hour. We're going to do our final thoughts, starting with Garcia.
Yes, so final thoughts. First of all, let's try not to do anything that allows for people to sue us. That's all I could say about, you know, the first two stories we had. For this last story, remember, your feelings need to be at the top of your list. Your values. If someone doesn't value you, you have to start looking inward and ask yourself, do I value myself? That's my answer to this woman that wrote in about her situation. My love, do you respect yourself? Do you value yourself? Because if you did, this man would not do this to you. So you need to get as far away from him as possible, and you need to go work on yourself and do the inner work, because it's not going to change. He's going to find another woman eventually again, and it's going to happen again. So move on. That's my last
He'll
word.
probably fall in love with the grief counselor.
I'm done.
He'll probably be like, oh, because, you know, she's there comforting him. And he'll just be like, oh, you care for me? My name is so-and-so. And the two of them, she'll be the next. You know what? My takeaway is, I'm gonna go with you, Car. It's value. And even value, like, and I'm going to say that even for Karen Civil and Nicki Minaj, too. This poor woman that found herself in this whole mess. Karen Civil didn't value herself enough to even, you know, even to have respect for her own self. She wouldn't hire someone to hack into something. It's like, chick, if you value your work, you don't have to do that. You should just be like, you know what? I know who I am. I am a great PR person. I don't need to have anyone hack into any system. I'm going to figure out whatever I need to figure out and have faith in myself. Nicki Minaj, you need to stop trying to save your husband. He needs to save himself. Whatever happened is between him and Joanna. He needs to go and figure out himself. You need to find your PR person and fix what's left of your career.
And he didn't even need saving.
And he didn't need saving because she married him and she's clearly taking care of his entire life. They have a cute baby though. And then as for this poor woman, girl, this should have never been heard about in the first place.
Yeah.
You are broken as hell. And I know that she's Nigerian, but the sad part is that this is happening everywhere on the planet. And it shouldn't be, but because as women, we feel that, okay, I have to hang on to this because there's no one else. Like we have this weird embedment inside of us where we feel like, I can't find anybody else. Sis, have some faith in yourself. Have some faith in yourself. Get your therapy, leave this man and do the work because you are way more, you have value. You have something to offer your partner. Don't let this man rob you of what's left of your dignity because that's all he's doing. He's embarrassing you in these streets and now on the internet. Because before you know it, guys, everyone's going to know this woman's name. Everyone's going to know this woman's name. I want to know her name because I'm hella nosy. Shiva.
Y'all had a lot to say. I just don't love Rob that much. Those are my final words.
That doesn't even hurt my feelings. That doesn't even hurt my feelings. Yeah, I don't expect that. My takeaways, celebrities are stupid.
True.
Shortcuts usually ain't good. And if you are a habitual, horrible cheater, marry a Nigerian.
Oh, God, I cannot! Don't get off me, you bitch, I swear! Take them away!
I want to apologize to all the Nigerians out there who might be listening. But you know what? It's coming from a place of love.
Yes. And
it's coming from a place of love.
And our listener today, Susie Nicole, she says, when you encourage a behavior, you are part of the problem. We tell you that every week here on Not Your Typical Girl Talk, so don't you dare talk about how we don't sit here and tell you nothing good. These are nuggets to help you in your life.
Nuggets. That's
we
it.
give you gold nuggets every week.
Every week. So, thank you so much, everyone, for watching today's show and for listening to us on iHeartRadio, radio regions. Don't forget to join our Facebook page. Go ahead and join it. Follow us on YouTube. Yes, we're on YouTube at Not Your Typical Girl Talk. And follow us right here on Instagram. We want to talk to you. DM us. Send us a DM if you have any ideas you want us to talk about. Send it in. We'll give it a listen. We'll listen to your thoughts, and we'll come together and build something that we can bring forth to you. We're going to dance it out from Cursia to Kelly to Sheba to Robin Rob. I need a horn. I don't have one. But in the meantime, y'all, we come to you. We love you. Love you, Susie and Phoenix and Ryan. And I'm going through the list here. Susie and Blaze and Susie and Cass and Ark and Susie and Dinah and Ross and Tisha and Mania and Clifford. And this is a long list. Sorrel and Jean. Yo, the love is real.
Goodbye. Happy Saturday, everybody. Sorry, Nigerian woman is better than this. Bye.